Greetings and welcome to In Depth. I'm Dike Rostant. The conversation that we're going to have, I'm looking forward to it. One of the individuals knows me before I'm hitting my teens, and the other one we're meeting today. So we're very happy to be speaking with athlete and coach Medford Charles and his son, Med Charles Jr. Gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for taking the time inviting us into your space. But let me start off with you, please, Mehdi. Is it just you who's been involved in martial arts? Because we know that you have brothers and this holy Pat Charles, so like we know Heaven is one of them in terms of Snakey. But it's just you in martial arts?
No, it's a whole link up of us. There's plenty brothers, I was the leader, inspiring them to come and do the martial arts. But it's like about 5 of them. All my brothers them do martial arts. It's not just one alone. Everybody keep doing it from time to time. As they get older, they drop off. But I'm still here and working my best, to try to inspire the youths and them to keep going on and being strong and being, responsible with everything in this life, because with martial arts, it's a full network. It's not just kicking and punching. It's living his life in general.
But how did you start?
How did I start? Well, it's a long journey with that. From I always liked it, martial arts, always liked it, I'd seen it, and I was begging my father, Daddy, please carry me to, do martial arts, and he tell me, God, next week. I seen the man who, do martial arts, and which is Roderick Titus, and I always keep telling him, but he's saying, I will tell you when I will, but I see, you see me, I go and look for work, and I go in and join a class, and I went. And I get work, chicken work. I didn't was no big work. I go to chicken work. I must get about $15 a day. And I was paying my subs and things. And I keep training. And before you know it, I really love it, because when I go in class today and these guys kick my butt in class, I come back home, and I keep working. When I keep working, I say tomorrow, he cannot catch me that same kick, and I keep pressing on. And before you know it, I was a whole heap of trouble, and I thank God for everything that happened in that past day, I'm thankful. I'm very thankful.
Okay, well, Med Jr., looking at so it seems as though the situation was a little different between your father and yourself. So as opposed to hearing next week, you involved in the thing. Yeah. So what kind of fighter would you describe yourself as?
What kind of fighter? As in the ring?
Yeah.
A very aggressive fighter.
I know some people like to hold some distance in terms of fighting at range. Some people a little middle distance. I see some footage with you, and you just right up on the people.
I like to stay on them, keep the aggression right tense, It just really drown them out and tire them out, and also I could get in my blows and thing also. So it's kind of effective and it kind of risky too, because you get hit also. But at the end of the day, I get the job done.
Okay, and how did you come into martial arts? Was it just that dad doing it, uncles doing it, so I want to do it too? Or is it that you had a love for it, or what was that like for you?
Well, me, I didn't like this at all, actually. I didn't like it at all. I didn't want to do it for nothing. But I started when I was 4. Daddy carried me one day to do karate. And I was just running up and down playing, me as a little boy. Then a couple of years later, I started a little serious in the karate. Still not as serious. I did do that. I reached up to a first-class brown belt. And when then COVID come, we stopped karate. And then a little bit into COVID, like about a year before the pandemic over, I started kickboxing. And then now I really get serious about it. I say, nah, I want to do this. So I start training every single day. I push myself. Even when that in a day, I go coming out, do my work, trying to get the daily work done to get even better by the day. And now, pushing myself, because this is what I want to do, and I want to reach really far with it. And I want to make everyone proud someday, one day.
And what is that balance like? Because yes, moving from, okay, well, it's something I'm doing on the side, they kind of making me do it, to no, this is something that I want to do, and then even be it schoolwork, other things on the side that you're doing. What's that balance like?
Well, it's a balance. It's off. I go to school every day, then I come home and I'll come training. Then after training is like about 2 hours. I come home from training, it's be like 8. Then I go inside, I rest a little bit, I eat something, and then before I go to bed, I do a little revision because I need my education. Because imagine someday or one day, I come and get damaged, and I cannot continue fighting. It will be hard on me because instead of learning my work, I was studying to fight and stuff, and now I have nothing to rely on. So I try to put my schoolwork on top so I can get stuff done even after, just in case.
Yeah, because also the life of a fighter, sometimes the span, you still have plenty more to live after.
Yeah, it has been short because normal fighters, their career ends at like 35 years old. They consider older age. So, I'm 16 years old. I have plenty to go, but to go fly like that, it will finish fast.
I see daddy nodding. But even like moving and involving your son, involving other people in the community, what was that like? Because I know sometimes when you're focusing on yourself, on your career, and saying, I need to get better, you may not have as much time to say, okay, well, let me bring other people along. So what kind of inspired you to do that?
Well, basically, I will say, that self-motivation because the way we grew up was actually, 10 of us in our family. 10 of us in our family there, and I always fight with my brother. I battle every day with these brothers in them, and I tell myself, I say, I have to make something out of this. I have to, to reach to the core. But people around us, people just there if you say, well, tournament, they say, yeah, I think it's a who might come, If we choke them plenty, they might come out and come with you. And for that little time, then after that, them leave you again, and you are all alone by yourself again. But I always keep pressing, and I have one or two guys, I would say, like one of the coaches, like Kuro. Kuro always keep inspiring me, tell me, well, boy, let me keep going, let me do things, let me do stuff, and I keep pushing on from there. So it's not an easy journey being here, sitting here, go to sit down and talk. This is a blessing from which part we come from, and God do things in the right timing. So I don't bother. Just pray and give thanks and keep going. Throw your back and keep going on, man. It's not just like that.
And that kind of message of resilience in some of the posts that I've looked at, it seems as though it's very consistent. So we're going to talk about some of those blessings in terms of the hardware, talk about training, what training is like. But just before we go to the break, you see any of yourself, or what do you see of yourself in your son when he's in the ring?
Well, basically the movements, he has some movements, I see you do some stuff there, I say, but I didn't teach you that, He's doing that himself, And I tell him, I see you do that, how you do that, he said, I didn't know what talking about. But it's a natural, it already embedded inside of you. It's just for you to take it at a different level. And I thank God that I'm around, to stand up with him and make sure that sometimes he might be falling a little short, I kick him and we stand up back, man. Get up back. Already the setup he faced that with me sometimes, but I'm not giving up. I'm doing what I got to do to make it work. It have to work. You understand? Once you keep praying and keep pressing on, it got to work. God is there with you all the way, and I have no fear.
Well, I have no fear either because I know we're going to take a short break, but stay with us. We are coming back. We're speaking with Medford Charles. And welcome back. We are speaking with Medford Charles and Med Charles Jr. And one of the things that I want to get to now, gentlemen, is that level of training. What does training look like? And even before we get to the training itself, how do you draw the line, Medford, being a coach and being father?
Well, basically, everything's just lock off. When you're inside here, I'm not your father. I seen it plain, I'm not your father when we say we training. Training, it want a friend really when you want to go to a different level. You understand? You have to stay focused and you have to do your job. Doesn't matter how much push-up, how much sit-ups, how much jumping jacks, whatever the training is like, you have to fit the requirements. Otherwise, if tough love, that's going to happen. Otherwise, you're going to feel pain when you go outside here. You won't like yourself. I want you to always enjoy yourself. We just do it something like a party. You understand? Inside, here's your training. When you go outside in the ring, there you go to a party. It's showtime. You know, so when you go there, there's always say, man, it's showtime. So when you come here to have fun. All the drilling that's happening here, there's all your bad feelings, all your hiccup. Sometimes you might a hard face, you might get vexed because the drill is coming in a little different, but I don't care. It's just like that. You understand? And when we're done, we can hug, and I can say, you know, I still love you. Then you say, yes, Daddy. But it's all good. It's all good. That's always just go with me and him. But it's all good.
Well, let me ask you your version, Mr. Man, because my dad taught me in secondary school. The first piece of licks I get in secondary school is from my father. And I'm glad that he didn't take stuff home from what happened in school. But how do you get out of that situation in terms of like, you had a hard day of training, drill, working towards the showtime? Is it that you walk around toting feelings for a little bit or you get out at one time? What's that like for you?
Well, for me, from the time I step in here, I was going a different zone. Like, I doesn't really have that much feelings. I just know if I want to get something, I have to work very hard for it. So I just try and work my best. And when I come out, I just come back normal. I doesn't tote no feelings. I doesn't feel anyhow. I used to though. I used to be like, I used to real career and thing. I used to want to talk to anybody. But eventually I grow out of it and I start being normal now because it's hard work.
And in terms of that hard work versus the showtime, or the hard work leading up to showtime, do you try to mirror anybody? Is there anybody that you look like? Do you try to come up with your own techniques, your own sets and traps? And I'm thinking about that because I saw a match with you where it's like, okay, you're the person a front kick, a tip. And that was basically the setup. Because you set up again like you're going to hit them that same tip, but you turn it into a question mark. And then I see the person lying. Now, I don't know how hard you need to kick somebody who wearing headgear for them to look like they knock out on the floor, but in terms of like trying to blossom, evolve, do your own thing, showtime, what is that like? You going out there with a plan? How it is you doing that?
Well, for me in preparation, I look at a lot of different fighters. And I pick and choose everything that I want and leave out the ones that I don't want. So like, for instance, the question mark kick. It's our fighter in MMA called Israel Adesanya. I see him use that plenty and he just get through with it. So I'm saying, you know what? I go in and try this. So I come in the gym, I do some work in the lab, and I get it done. And eventually when I go out there, it work, and we get a good result from it.
And how proud do you feel when you see that? So work in the lab, you're seeing it pay off, and showtime you're showing out.
Well, I feel, it's have a feeling to express that feeling really basically, but, I know he can do a lot of stuff. It's just that he just hold back himself at many occasions. Sometimes when he go there, like he feel like when he's sparring this man, it's like he's sparring with a man like in his gym itself, but it's not so. You now getting to really understand that it's need to drop in them technique and them and not hold back. So when I see do that, I was so happy, to know, well, the training actually doing it out there. In class, he's doing it like that, he's doing it, you understand? But when he comes to the stage, he's sticking that certain form, he's doing a certain technique, and he just ain't clicking. And when I see do that night, I say yes, he's growing. I'm going to give him my belt. It's time for him to step up to a different level. I am pulling back and pushing he forward. And with the rest of the guys in them who coming forward, I will continue pushing them forward. And what I got to tell him is, it's good job, good job. He just work hard and know he just work hard. So it's just a matter of time, for the international stage to see him. And we'll get what he really deserves. Because I know he's a goal student, man.
You get nervous for him, and I say that because it's one thing for you to be in the ring, you to be in combat, and you could control, and you have the things in your mind and whatever, but then seeing, okay, well, after everything, this is my son, you know, and I want him to do this, or I don't want him to hold back. You get nervous for him like that?
No, basically, there's not plenty things I want him to do, but inside of the ring itself, he in charge. I always let him know you're in charge. I mean, you got plenty of people saying things outside, inside, but basically, you personally, you in charge there. You're in charge of every move, everything that happened. But I do not feel sorry for him anymore because I know I would just waiting for the big moment to drop. I just waiting to see when he do the technique. And when he do the technique, well, I don't know, sometimes I get a little shake, a little shock.
Well, we have about 2.5 minutes, and I want you to speak about Fierce Young Lions School of Boxing and Kickboxing. So what's that about? Is people from the community? What's the idea behind it?
Well, basically, it's a lot of people, some from the area, some from out of the area, you know, and a lot of people come together and come and train here. We have a lot of love goes on here with training, you know, with different people come here, they just want to leave sometime. Sometimes when they're done the session, you know, everybody will just sit down and chit chat. But I really want to take Fierce Young Lions to a different level. Even I mean to a different level, you know, open bigger gyms, you know, do bigger things. Hopefully, you know, Med get his break and he started to see life outside. We get him to, you know, to go outside and do things a little differently to make sure that we reach that goal, because here alone is not everything. We need to travel, we need to get a lot of fights, but right now, it even harder on him to get a fight. Sometimes when they hit a match with him, plenty people want to fight him, but I mean, they had to fight. Once they're on the rank, once the same weight, they're supposed to fight with him, but the trouble you have is because he's underage, and majority of the guys in him is overage, like let me say.
Because that same person that he caught with the question mark kick, Med is 16, but that person is about 20-something, 25.
Something, so. And you know, basically, he'll be fighting with big men here, but the rules are the rules. Underage, you know, you cannot do certain things, but hopefully we get fights. But we need plenty of fights. More fight you fight, the better you get, because it could be on that much. Every session, every fight he do, and he come home, I always have something, you know, something new to work on, something new to put on the table with him, and you know, and we keep doing it. We keep doing it over and over, and we hope we get the fights in them. But back to Fierce Young Lion. This Fierce Young Lion family is not something that, you know, every day. This is something I believe it's very unique. It happens people don't know which part it is when they come in Fierce Young Lion. It happens people around the area don't know who we really is, you understand? It's people on the outside go really, you know, who know me from on the outside go say, well, hey, them is good, that's good, very good, good job. Them is do a good job there, but basically, he coming out on the front line, you know, fighting now, they will get to see and understand who is really Fierce Young Lions.
And we leave the last comment for this Fierce Young Lion in terms of like 30 seconds, Med Charles Jr. What do you learn? What does the discipline of what it is you're learning here teach you?
Well, the training at Fierce Young Lions is what really transformed me into the person I am today. Thanks to the discipline I got in from since the age of 4 to now, it make me a better person in life and society. It separate me from the crowd, basically. Like, I was not the average teenager. I respect people, and people respect me the same way. Because to get, you gotta give. And, well, when I have to do something, I just try to do it as soon as possible, because when you have to do something here, you have to do it. You know. If you don't do it, it's punishment. So I try to get done. And also, just people in general, they say I give off a good vibe, and I feel that's because of the discipline, and it's really working out. It played a big role in my life.
Andrew, I want to thank you very much for sharing with us. We're trying to keep a little discipline in terms of dealing with the time, but we've been speaking with Med Charles Jr. as well as his father, Medford Charles, in front of the hardware. So on behalf of the entire TTT News team, this has been In Depth with me, Dike Rostant. Thank you so much for joining us.